Okay, hey, it's summertime. Happy high summer and llamas and all that stuff. So this is, the height of summer when we're filming this. So I've just jumped in the creek, and that's why my T-shirt is wet. I'm very fortunate to live by a creek, and I'm Mark McNutt, and I'm going to talk about astrology today. A few things. So basically, we're having a solar and a lunar eclipse coming right up. People want to know about that kite shape that's going on right now, and if you know what I'm talking about, that's great. And otherwise, I'll talk about it, and you will know. And New moon in Leo, and what's going on, there. So, yeah, I'm gonna break it down a bit, and we're at the midpoint of summer right now, so we're at a high peak energy where energy radiates from the middle of the fixed signs outwards, meaning that the middle of Leo, the middle of Aquarius, the middle of Scorpio, and the middle of Taurus are the real power times. So right now, as I speak, we're right in the power of Leo, the power of summer. So the energy of summer isn't contained by the sun moving into Cancer, because that's the water sign. We're into the hot and heavy, fiery stuff right now. And maybe you're watching this in Australia or something, and you're like, what's he talking about? But here in where we are in the Pacific Northwest, it's very obvious. The whole world is burning here. I'm very fortunate to live in a place where we get 100 inches plus of rain a year, but I'm just jumped in my incredibly low creek right now, and water's an issue, and because we are so fiery. So in addition to the sun and then the moon at the new moon being in Leo, Jupiter is also in Leo, and people are wondering, so Leo, fun and games, it's everything you would imagine with high summer. It's like having a good time, it's partying, it's love, it's wanting to gather memories so that you can draw on that at other darker times and whatever. So high energy, high energy for the fire, the inspiration, the motivation in life. And I hope you're feeling aptly motivated, because in addition to the sun being in Leo and the moon at the new moon, Jupiter also has gone into Leo. And Jupiter usually spends 1 year per sign, sometimes a little less. Jupiter has to do with how we expand and grow and broaden our horizons. So Jupiter in Leo is very auspicious for creativity, for love, for self-expression, and so there is a lot of power to this Jupiter in Leo, which is going to continue until the middle of next year. And Jupiter just went into Leo in last month. So in addition to that, that's triggered a whole slew of things, and people are asking about, what about that kite pattern? So the kite pattern in astrology has to do with when certain planets look in their resonance, it looks like a kite in terms of distances apart and so forth like that. And so there's Jupiter in Leo, but what's been going on in the bigger picture is the outer planets have been in a strong relation with each other. They've been sextile, they've been trine, they've been basically what's happening is there's a lot of intensity of the focus of the outer planets, which have to do with archetypal energies on the planet. So you have Pluto, transformation, death and rebirth, total change. Pluto's in Aquarius, and in the beginning of Aquarius, and people often associate Aquarius with the New Age and with, everything's going to be, liberal, and we're all going to live in life, love and light, and accept each other and that sort of thing. boy, I don't get that out of Aquarius at all. You know, famous Aquarians, Ronald Reagan, Dick Cheney, you know, Sarah Palin, you know, so Aquarian people are ideologues. They believe in ideals. They have ideals. They can be really screwy, but they have ideals and they act from that place. And I should know I'm Aquarius Pisces, um, and I definitely feel okay about being an eccentric and dancing to my own beat. And that's what Aquarians do. Um, there's a chaotic sense to Pluto in Aquarius, and it's going to go on for another 15 years or so. Um, and so Pluto is also so big transformation, big changes, lots of drama with Pluto in Aquarius, and then next to Pluto, you have Neptune in Aries, and Neptune is the dreamer planet. It has to do with dreams and visions, and the more intuitive nature of the planetary spectrum there. So Neptune's everything that's sort of kind of ethereal and nebulous and sort of hard to pin down. Neptune has moved into Aries, and so this is a time and this goes on for over 10 years. This is a time when we would be redefining ourselves and taking another look at our internal makeup and Neptune moving into Aries. Well, it's a whole new ball game, because that's the start of the zodiac. And again, people look at that like very positively, like everything's going to be fine when Neptune goes out of Pisces into Aries. But basically, it is very dramatic. It's a very dramatic placement. And so Pluto is in sextile with Neptune. Many of us were born, those of us who are older, like baby boomers, like myself, we were born with Pluto sextile Neptune in another fashion. And this aspect, because Pluto has a cylindrical, it's long and skinny, it has a elliptical orbit, so Pluto was in sextile with Neptune for something like 40 years. But now it's kind of shifted where Neptune's gone in front of Pluto, and they're sextile once again, and that goes on all year long. So this is a time when old dreams are shattered, new dreams, new transformations happen, and you can read anything into that you want, because some people believe that they could conquer the whole world, and then they find out, oh, you're going to run out of missiles before you conquer the whole world, and so this is a time when perceptions can be off, but it's also a time, happily, when we can reset the game, when we can redefine things and move into a new place with it. And that's also part of the import of Neptune in Aries. And then you have Uranus, and it's not Uranus, sorry, it's Uranus. And we have Uranus in Gemini, which just moved into Gemini in the last few months. And Uranus in Gemini brings forth lots of unpredictable change. Uranus is the eccentric and unusual and unpredictable energy. Uranus trine Pluto all year long is basically life is full of surprises, but it also can be intense, but it can be really wonderful too. So it's energy is what we make it. There's a saying that if you have lemons, you can always make lemonade. Well, yeah, you need sugar too. You need a sweetener. So what's your sweetener in life? So Pluto trine Uranus, Pluto sextile Neptune, Neptune sextile Uranus, and those are all like sextiles are, of course, half a trine. So you have the 3 points of the kite right there, and then the fourth point of the kite is Jupiter in Leo, which is only going on this month. I mean, Jupiter is in Leo all year, or rather for a year, starting last month. But Jupiter in where it is aspecting Jupiter opposition Pluto, Jupiter sextile Uranus, Jupiter trine Neptune, really powerful energy. So things are very dynamic right now. The best news is things are not stagnant at all. You know, when you get into energy that's fire and air, it moves quite quickly. You know, the more stuck energies are like water, because we get bound by emotion, and also earth, because sometimes that earthiness makes it hard to move. You know, so things are moving right now, and that's the good news. Lots of fire, lots of air. Um, so these are all, you know, in what I don't like to use the word alignment, but it really fits here. You know, so there's 4 planets in a strong alignment, and then in the course of the month, you'll have the moon moving into Libra and then into Sagittarius, and when those things happen, it connects other dots there. Now, myself, I got a 4-degree Libra rising, I got a 5-degree Mars in Sagittarius, so I'm having a grand sextile. Yeah, maybe you are too, in other ways, shapes, or forms. If you have early Libra big in your chart, if you have early Sagittarius, it's going to be even more dynamic. So speaking of dynamic, there's also a couple of eclipses this month. They're not such a big news in terms of the spectrum because they're most visible in other places. If you're in Spain, if you're in Greenland, things are really happening right now. However, you know, here we don't get to see it because it's just the wrong place. And that would be anywhere in the U.S. We don't, we're not getting the benefit of a visible solar eclipse, but it's still an eclipse, and any solar eclipse will reset the clock, and so we can expect lots of drama and lots of release in the coming month from August 11th to September 8th. Also in there, eclipses come in pairs, and so there's a lunar eclipse that happens 2 weeks after the solar eclipse. And I looked that up too. Not visible anywhere that you're watching this. So just be aware that in 2 weeks after the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse has to do with our emotional bodies and how we feel about things. So we're going to expect a lot of outpouring of drama, a lot of key happenings things right now, and also the emotions will be brought up later in the month. Fortunately, that's Virgo Pisces, so that has a different kind of feel to it than all this fiery Leo stuff going on right now. So I hope I didn't paint a dramatically negative picture, because it's not. It's what you make it. But realize that the drama will be going on no matter what you do with it. So maybe it's time to get a reading and see how that all fares for you. Okay, so I think I've said enough, and I'm wishing you all well, and I'll see you next month.